Life is meaningful. The first meaning of life is suffering and malevolence. There's indisputable realities. Okay, well, what's after that? Well, there's a noble way of being that allows you to exist properly despite that, and also not to make it worse. So, can your life be meaningful enough so that you confront chaos voluntarily? Establish and revivify order. Constrain malevolence. That's a good three-part doctrine for life. Get your act together. Stand up forthrightly. That's rule one. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. There's a vulnerable position, right? Because you're open. But it's a powerful position because it means that you're brave enough to take what's coming. And it isn't like what's coming isn't dangerous. It's dangerous. So, but your best bet is to be dancing on your feet and ready for it. Pay attention and be awake. And to treat yourself properly. That's rule two, is figure out how to treat yourself as if you're someone worth coming to the aid of. To detach yourself in a bit and say, okay, I'm going to set up my life so that it's good for me and good for other people as well. That's a corollary to that. The meanings of life, the negative meanings, suffering, malevolence, those are indisputable realities. And then a mode of being that integrates the sorts of things that you were talking about, these underlying needs, with everyone else's, and like doing that voluntarily. It's a call to responsibility and meaning. And I actually think it's not the thing that's been so exciting for me for the last 3 decades, looking into these things, is that I believe that there is a genuine human ethic. It's not arbitrary. It has to do with reciprocity, for example. It has to do with honesty. That's another thing, is that you should speak the truth. Because your life turns out better if you speak the truth. And so does everyone else's. So, in this biblical lecture series I did, I looked at the first chapter in Genesis, and there's a theory in there. It's a really interesting theory. And the theory is that there's 3 parts to being. There's chaos and potential. And that would be like the potential you should live up to. Because everyone says, well, you should live up to your potential. It's like, what the hell's that? You can't measure it, or touch it, or taste it, feel it. It's this hypothetical thing that everyone regards as real. It's like the future. What's the future? Well, it's not here yet. You can't measure it. What makes you think it's real? Well, we act as if it's real, and that seems to work. So there's potential. That's one. That's chaos, chaotic potential. Then there's order, and that's the structure that you need in order to confront the chaos. And you'd be born with that biologically. And then there's your ability to call forth from the potential new order. And that's what you do with your speech. And that's what happens in the first chapter of Genesis, is that God order, let's say, uses the power of truthful speech, that's the logos, to transform potential into order. And that's what people are made in the image of. So there's this theory, it's a lovely theory that's laid out right at the beginning of the Bible, that says that if you tell the truth, you transform the potential of being into a habitable actuality. That's how it works. So you say, well, how do you make the world better? Tell the truth. Because the world you bring into being, as a consequence of telling the truth, will be a good world. And I believe that's true. I think it's true metaphorically, I think it's true theologically, and I think it's true like at the practical and scientific level as well. I think it's true in all those levels simultaneously.